mean, just to validate the point I made, my early hunger for theater, for anchoring and music earned me, for instance, the privilege of being on air from the very first day that FM started in the country.
Yes.
A day I will never forget. And I might sound a little self-indulgent, but it brings me great joy. I've been on air since the day FM radio started, August
Yes.
15, 93. And again, that's some of the joys of staying hungry. That was, lesson number 7. Lesson number 8, Nandini, is never let money be the scoreboard.
Oh,
And again,
yes.
I don't want to sound wrong, and I don't want to say money is not important, and I don't want to sound like a preacher man in that sense. Money is important.
Very.
Very important, right? But like I said earlier, I was once told that if you chase happiness and you chase contentment, commerce automatically follows. The universe conspires, as they say.
Yes.
And it's, another point that I keep asking myself is, how much is enough, right?
Yeah.
What's good enough? When I was growing up, is a home for yourself good enough? A 1-bedroom, a 2-bedroom? Is a villa good enough? Is a holiday home to add to it good enough? Is a bike good enough? Is a car good enough? Which car is good enough? How many cars? There's no formula, right?
It never ends. It can never
It
end.
never ends. Absolutely. And again, I'm not dissing the fact that we want a good home, or you want a holiday home, or you
And a
want
good
a
car.
good car. Yeah, exactly. So there's nothing wrong, except that don't let it become your scoreboard for success.
Yeah.
You're never as happy as the materials you have around you. I mean, you know this as well as I do, that
Absolutely.
Unfortunately, there are people who have materials or materialistic kind of, stuff around them, but needn't be happy. I hope everyone is, but
Yeah.
and on the other hand, there are people who have
Very
way less,
Yeah.
and who are extremely happy. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the 8th one. Never let money be the only scoreboard or the scoreboard. Lesson 9 is, and this is more personal, really. I keep telling myself that I need to understand and know the difference between being passive, and going with the flow, and actually delivering on promise. Okay. So very often I would tell myself that I need time to chill. I need time to spend with myself. I need to kind of be passive and go with the flow.
Yeah.
Because, there's this whole thing, universe around us, and we are one part of that entire kind of universe around us. But it shouldn't stop you from delivering on what you've objectivized to be part of your journey.
Yes.
Okay. So knowing the difference between just being passive and going with the flow, and actually delivering on objectivity and promise. And that's debatable. Okay. I want to say this. It's something I still, I won't say struggle with, but I spend a lot of time thinking about. Yeah. And my 10th lesson, I told you I talk too much for my age and size, and I'm living up to my reputation.
Good.
But
Thank you.
my 10th lesson is enjoy the journey.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, it is the most important thing, isn't it, Nandini? Because the
Yes.
destination, we just discussed it, the destination will keep changing, right?
Yeah.
Life's a roller coaster, objectives keep getting redefined. We just mentioned the various levels, what works, what doesn't work, how much is enough, how much is not enough. Change, as they say, to use a cliche, is the only constant.
Yeah.
Don't stay fixated on the destination, because the tent pole could change, get shifted. Enjoy the journey, enjoy the process, enjoy the scenery on your way to your final destination.
Absolutely.
So I mean, I work really hard at doing that, at working towards enjoying the journey.
Yes.
And it could be in the literal sense. We have done a lot of, for instance, wildlife parks,
Yes.
visiting, because love nature. And there are two things that used to happen. One is, you could be trigger happy with your camera and capturing all of it. Nothing wrong with that. But another beautiful way is to just soak it all in, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying either one is completely right. I'm not saying you don't take pictures. or don't capture it, or I'm not saying you don't spend time just soaking the vibe in, but it's about drawing the balance. So enjoy the journey
Yeah.
that we are on, because, I think John Lennon said something really beautiful. He, couple of things I'm going to talk about, which will be a nice way to end our conversation.
Yeah.
Apparently, his mom would always tell him, John, whatever you do in life, be happy. And apparently, in school, once the teacher gave the class a lesson saying, or question to say, what do you want to be when you grow up? And so apparently, John Lennon wrote, I want to be
Be
happy.
happy.
And the teacher said, I don't think you've understood the question. And apparently, he said to her, ma'am, I don't think you've understood life.
I
You
agree.
know, and that's so pertinent, isn't it? And he also said,
Absolutely.
life is what passes you by while we're making all those grandiose plans.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Beautifully said.
So
Beautifully.
that's my 10th lesson, enjoy the
Wow.
journey.
Thank you so much, Brian. My gauge of success is this. If I wake up in the morning with my heart singing and a skip in my step, I feel successful. You know, I just know that, I mean, this is probably the happiest I've ever been because every morning I wake up like that. I feel so happy and so alive and just full of that joie de vivre
You're
and
right.
with thanks and gratitude. And that's, I think, all the riches in the world can't buy you that. Of course, it's wonderful to be rich. I'm not saying it's
No,
not.
absolutely. I'm not saying that either. I agree with you.
Yeah.
But
But
is that the only thing that defines,
yes.
success or happiness? No,
Yeah. So I'm John Lennon's kindred soul.
that makes three of us.
That makes all of us. Thank you so much because these are things that really make the world move at a very subtle level if you connect to them. Or you can look at politics, look at the news. Not that you shouldn't, but that can fill your day and fill your life and all the or some awful things that are happening in the world, or you can fill your life with happiness and joy and then spread that to others just by by taking a moment and wishing everybody well. That's our choice.
It truly is. It truly is. Thank you, Nandini, because every time one talks about these things, you further imbibe it. It becomes more muscle memory,
Yes.
and we get a lot more convicted about
Yes.
these things. So thank you for reaching out, and I completely enjoyed this conversation.
Yes.
I stand guilty of.
No, I loved it. I'm sure the audience will love it too. And thank you very much. And I hope you all learned something wonderful from this.
I hope
Thanks,
so too.
Brian.